What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about what I think is going to be the most profitable things to be doing in 10.1. So obviously we're going to go through some market types and show you some examples of the types of items that I'm talking about and professions that can craft them. So general trends for Dragonflight. I'm going to organize this list into some rough tiers, or this video. And as with many predictions, this is risky business for me. Obviously I can be wrong. I have been wrong. But my experience with Shadowlands or Dragonflight so far, better methods, at least for me, things that avoid the region-wide auction house for sales. Because if it's on the region-wide auction house, then it can be profitable, but generally speaking, you just have to sit there and post scan and post scan and post scan, and it's very boring, and it's definitely not lazy gold making, which is what I'm all about. The best method in Dragonflight in general has been to sell personal crafting orders. I think some of the richest people in Dragonflight are people who bought the Lariat recipe on day one and just spammed crafting orders. So that's been the highest potential, but once again, something that requires a decent amount of work. And then selling like stuff like gems and consumables on the region-wide auction house has been less profitable, very competitive for obvious reasons. And there hasn't been that many other niches, but we'll take a look at the ones that are. The first category of items, I'm calling this like region-wide utility. So what do I mean by this? I mean, it's items that are sold on the region-wide auction house, and it's items that do something, but not something. They don't increase your character's powers. They don't give you more damage. There's not potions. It's not gems. It's stuff like finishing reagents, optional reagents, stuff like the overcharged overclocker. So this is something that people buy. You can sell them for a profit. It's also the stat-based optional reagents, the missives. They'll buy them. They'll buy one. The prices are low. None of them are expensive. So there's really not much gold to get here, even if sales do increase in 10.1, which obviously I expect them to do. But this is the type of items that you can make gold with them, but it's just like it's not a lot. You probably will in 10.1 as well. I don't expect to see any of these explode in price. So like this is engineering. Inscription has these types of items. I think those are the main examples. So the next group of items, I'm going to call this region-wide power increasing items. So I'm sure you can guess what that is. It's consumables, it's gems, it's enchants, it's anything that you have to sell on the region-wide auction house, on anything that stacks, but that increases the player power in some way, whether it's for a short-term duration or a longer term. So these items, many of them are profitable. What's typically been the case in the past is that, in other expansions as well, is that they have, relatively speaking, lower profit margins, and you have to sell a lot of them. This has been like pretty much, well, super polarized into being the most extreme version of that, with everything being sold on the region-wide auction house. So there's definitely gold to be made. I mean, I'm on my gem crafter right here. If we open my mailbox, I'm sure I did collect sales yesterday, so not that many, but I sold, I've been selling a bunch of gems on this character with generally okay success, but not the highest margins. I like gems because it doesn't require you to be like absolutely max knowledge. If you want to do enchanting or alchemy, which is the main other professions that do these types of items, then they typically will require a lot more knowledge in enchanting. For some of the recipes, you will have to be almost maxed out in your tree to be competitive with the absolute best people, because you can reach hidden skill value thresholds. If you're not familiar with what hidden skill value means, then you should check out my video on that. We'll link that at the end of the video. But that's the case. It does mean that if you are at that threshold, then obviously enchanting and alchemy are going to be good, because there's going to be fewer competitors. But on the other hand, to get the other people out of the competition, you have to price it at relatively low profit margins even for you. So it's not amazing. Now I'm also including items that are intermediate reagents in this group. So stuff like the alloys, like the engineering materials, like the chronocloth and asherweave cloth cooldowns. All of those, they don't directly increase player power, but the materials have such a high sale rate, most of them, because they're used in fairly large quantities. So they have the same sort of dynamics as pure power increasing items. Next up, we're going to look at some items that you can actually sell on the auction house. So I'm going to call it realm-specific utility. In this group, we have items that are just useful or just cosmetic, even toys, bags, the Sap Throttle Soul Inhaler, one of my favorite items to make gold with this expansion actually, the Sap Throttle Soul Inhaler. Been absolutely great. Only sold on your realm. We're also including catch-up gear in this category, like Crimson Combatant gear is profitable right now. If you sell it, if you craft it at max quality, there's a lot of pieces here that you can sell for anywhere from a couple of hundred to almost 1,000 gold profit. So that's pretty good. And we're getting you recipes for that in 10.1 as well. All of these items are just competing with your realm, which means that even you can post once a day and expect to get a lot of sales, which I really like. But obviously these are items that people don't buy that much because they're not that powerful, or they just use them. It's more fire and forget. You buy them once and then you're done forever with that item. Next up we have well, something that's a little bit of a new thing for Blizzard that they added for the first time with 10.0.7, essentially with crafting order based items that are meant for just like mass crafting orders. So this is what we see with stuff like Unstable Elementium right now, something where you can actually expect to do some crafting orders, almost public orders. These are the ones that are super easy, where you don't have to think about quality or really talk with the customer. The main thing they're adding in 10.1 is, of course, the new upgrade items, the infusions that you use to upgrade your gear to higher item level. So they are now a crafted item from what's it called, from enchanting, and they work very similarly to how the Unstable Elementium does, where it's just there's no quality. I don't think there's even multi-craft on the crests. There's just the only thing you can have is you can have some resourcefulness and get some money back essentially, and that's it. If you're the first one to market, you can just like, or even if you're just early, you're just going to advertise your price in trade, and you might get a lot of buyers. This is going to be very profitable at the beginning. If you're the first one to get these, everyone is going to want the new upgraded materials, just like everyone wants Unstable Elementium. And you can expect for a long time to be able to pick up like public orders, like right here. If you really want to make gold with this, obviously these public orders are not going to be enough. You're going to need to generate personal orders, but it's fairly easy to generate because you don't have to do any negotiations or outside of price. You don't have to talk people through exactly what they need to do or not. It's going to be, yeah, this is what you do. Yeah, my price 500 gold, send me. I click and we do it. Lastly, the most profitable thing in the game, I mentioned it in the beginning, it's obviously more personalized, specialized personal orders. High-end gear is the name of the game. It's where you can generate the most in commissions by far. I personally haven't really done it because I don't like sitting in chat and negotiating with people. I just don't enjoy that at all. But the getting upgraded items to the new max eye level is going to be super profitable. Obviously it's going to be more competitive this time around, and we can expect on average significantly lower fees compared to what we saw at the beginning of Dragonflight, because now a ton of people can craft max quality. People are getting fairly maxed out on their trees, like I am. So you can expect more competition, but there's going to be a lot of demand. And in particular, obviously, as of right now, I think the Lariat is getting nerfed, but it's still going to be the strongest, is what I saw the last time. But if it changes and suddenly there's another piece or different pieces for different specs, then we're going to see a lot of movement on the auction or through the crafting orders as people look to get recrafted and get the correct embellishment effects for 10.1. weapons, and whatever the best embellishment turns out to be, that's going to be where you make money. There are some new recipes as well, so if any of those have embellishment effects are the strongest ones, then well, unlocking those is going to be the name of the game to really make money. Obviously, always the most profitable thing in a new expansion is being the first one to get the new recipes, if there are any strong new recipes. So if you're the first one to get the enchanting crests recipes, then you can make a lot of gold with those, most likely. If you're the first one to get the new strongest embellishment, then you can make a lot of money. Just like the people who got Lariat recipe day one made an absolutely obscene amount of gold. If the Lariat is still the strongest, then it might be worth buying, but it depends on how much you like sitting in trade chat. I see the price has gone up. The last time I saw one on this realm, it was for 2 million. I don't think it's worth paying 4 million for a Lariat recipe right now. You would need to craft a huge amount, but if you like trade chat, then it might be. Anyway, that's it. If there's any profession you're wondering where a specific item fits in this, then let me know. I did this a little bit high level, but I tried to fit in some examples to show you what I'm thinking about and talking about. So that's it. Good luck in 10.1.